If you've been injured in an accident or at work, the video you're about to witness may have a profound impact on your family's security and well-being. As former insurance claims adjusters, John Griffith and Jeff Roberts have unique insight into the methods insurance companies use to settle claims in their favor. Now John and Jeff, for the first time, are revealing this valuable knowledge in 5 secrets insurance companies don't want you to know.
John, Jeff, thank you for your time. We're looking forward to learning some secrets. Tell me, what's the first secret?
Well, the first secret is that the insurance adjuster is trained to provide the maximum benefit to the insurance company and the minimum benefit to you, the injured party.
You know, you got to remember that insurance adjuster is the eyes and the ears for the insurance company. And that adjuster is trained to do 2 things. Number 1, close that claim as quickly as possible, and 2, pay as little as possible.
Or pay nothing, which is what they usually prefer.
So how do they go about that? Do they do that through conflict or through some other means?
You know, I'm from the country, and there's an old saying that says you can attract more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. It's all about building a relationship. The adjuster is in an adverse position with the injured person, and what the adjuster is trained to do, and should be doing if they're doing their job effectively, is to keep that injured person appeased by building a relationship of trust and leading them down the path to where the insurance adjuster can control the outcome of the claim. Remember, his job or her job is to close the claim as quickly as possible, and 2, pay as little as possible. They accomplish that by calling the injured person their customer. Well, I don't know of any injured person yet that claims to be a customer in a car wreck.
Okay, so now tell me secret number 2.
Well, secret number 2 is quite simple. Any statement that's given can and likely will be used against the person who gives the statement. You know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. It's on every television cop show that you see. The same principle applies in a personal injury or workers' compensation claim. Although it's a civil case and not a criminal case, that same principle applies. Statements can be used against the person who's making the claim. And that's quite simply the way it is with an adjuster.
Can and often are on a daily basis. Many times when clients call us and we are able to meet with them for the first time, they've given statements and things have been said or done that have been extremely detrimental to their claim. And we're not saying that you should not give a statement. Every circumstance is different. But it would be nice to know what benefit you're going to get from giving that statement to the adjuster. And do you have to do that?
Yeah, that's right. And oftentimes the adjuster, what they will do is they will tell the claimant, you know, unless you give me this statement, nothing's going to get done on your claim. And quite likely that's true. And so the adjuster is simply holding over the head of the injured person. Either you give me this statement or else I do nothing on your claim. And oftentimes that can have disastrous consequences on the injured person.
In our job, and I use this analogy a lot with my clients when I meet with them, is like a minesweeper. Our job is to help them avoid stepping on those mines that they're going to run into if they don't have somebody trained at least as equally as the adjuster is to help them navigate through that statement they're about to provide to the insurance company.
Rest assured, the conclusions that are drawn from the insurance adjuster from that recorded interview will dictate the handling of the rest of the claim.
And I'll tell you something else that's very important. Whenever you're dealing with your own insurance company and you're involved in a wreck in which you or your loved ones have been significantly injured, that statement may be used by your own insurance company against you. For example, if the person that hit you does not have insurance, then you have, if you have the right coverage, what's called an uninsured motorist claim. And so when you think that you're dealing closely with your own insurance company and sharing information that you think would never be used against you, you will find out rudely later that that information will definitely be used against you. And I have a lot of people say, well, that was my insurance company. Why would they do such a thing? But it happens every single day.
What's the third secret?
The third secret is that you need to know that a prior injury or a prior medical condition will likely be used against you.
This ties in closely with the prior secret that we just shared, and that is, in every recorded interview that a claims adjuster takes of an injured person, the question is always asked, do you have any prior neck pain? Do you have any prior back pain? Do you have a prior medical condition that existed prior to or before this injury?
And even if you had a condition that you treated for 8, 10, 20 years ago, and you've not treated before the wreck you've recently been involved in for that period of time since your initial injury, they will use that against you and say that you're just trying to blame everything in this wreck on your prior injury, when you've been pain-free for several years.
So give me an example of a case like that.
I had a client once who claimed that they had never had a prior back injury until this auto wreck they were involved in, pretty severe one. The insurance adjuster and the defense attorney dug up an 8-year-old report where the client went to the doctor where they had back pain, but they had the flu. I don't know about you, but every time I've had the flu, I've had back and all over body pain. But they try to morph that into that they're lying, and it's intellectually dishonest and it's unfair.
So how can you as attorneys help someone who may have a prior condition yet have been injured? How do you help them?
It really comes down to this: going and meeting with the doctor, or writing to the doctor, or if it gets into a litigation scenario, taking the deposition of the doctor to clarify those points. And certainly if the doctor can testify that there's been an aggravation or worsening of that pre-existing pain or medical condition, then as a matter of law, the case is going to be one that's compensable, which means the injured person is entitled to something.
And that's why it's important to tell your doctor accurately what your injury is, and to be as specific as possible.
It's like a tightrope. You don't want the injured person to overstate their pain or injury, but on the other hand, you certainly don't want them to understate it, because either one is going to lead to an unjust result.
Yeah.
Now share with us secret number 4.
Well, secret number 4 is that a quick settlement is not always the best settlement.
There are many instances where you need to have answers to several questions that the insurance company is not going to share with you. For example, if you're involved in a serious accident, you may only be receiving phone calls and communication with the adjuster for the person who's at fault for the wreck. They may even offer you what's called their policy limits, the maximum amount of coverage they have. If you take that settlement, you may be jeopardizing a much larger settlement with, for example, an uninsured motorist carrier. And those are things that you must know before you settle that claim, because if you accept that money, you may and probably will jeopardize any uninsured motorist claim that you have.
There are also considerations of other people who may be at fault. There may be another totally different person or party who's at fault for the collision, and their fault would be factored in, and that'd be part of the claim as well. And so if you sign a release and settle policy limits with party number 1 or their insurance company, you may be leaving money on the table for other people who may contribute or be at fault just as much. The defendant himself or her, she may have assets that are greater than their policy limits. What if that defendant driver was driving and running an errand for their employer? The employer could be at fault.
What is the 5th and final secret?
The 5th secret is that the medical treatment the injured person receives is going to be closely scrutinized and evaluated by the insurance claims adjuster. What many times people don't realize is that once an accident occurs, the documentation process begins. The police officer will write an accident report. If the injured person goes to the emergency room, statements that they give to the doctor and to the nursing staff, they're going to be recorded. The specific injuries that they are receiving treatment for are going to be noted and documented in the medical records. And those medical records hold the keys to the insurance adjuster being able to piece together the course of events for the injuries that are being claimed and the significance and the severity of the injuries that are being claimed.
If a person is involved in what is claimed to be a serious accident, it doesn't do that person any good to try to tough it out and not go to the emergency room. That's one of the key factors they look at is, did the person go to the emergency room? Did they go the day of the accident? Did they wait a day? Did they wait 2 days? Did they wait a week? Sometimes 2 weeks. The longer you wait, even though you may have the same bona fide legitimate injury, it's going to hurt your case in the eyes of the insurance company. The second thing an adjuster looks for is consistent history. And by that, we mean, what did you tell your doctor was the injured portion of your body? Do you start out with your low back on one visit, and the next visit it's your right knee, and then the third visit it's your left shoulder? The injuries are usually consistent in that those injured parts will remain hurt. There are exceptions when you have significant injuries, when you're hospitalized, for example, and you're not walking, and you're bedridden, and you don't discover until you start trying to walk that your right knee or your right ankle is broken. And we have cases where people have broken ankles and it's not discovered until 3 or 4 weeks later. The third item that will catch an adjuster's attention in evaluating the case are gaps in treatment. Many times people receive treatment initially at the emergency room or otherwise, and because of life situations, they don't go to the doctor for 2 weeks, or sometimes they'll say, well, I'm just going to give it time to heal, and they won't go for 2 or 3 months, but the problem is still there, and then they go 3 months later, and the adjuster infers that they're not being honest with their injury. So what we always recommend, and I tell this to all my clients, I say, we will never ever tell you to go to the doctor if you are not hurting. But if you are hurting, don't try to be Superman or Superwoman and tough it out. You need to go document your treatment, document your pain.
The adjuster is going to assume that something else happened between the injury-causing event, say a car wreck, and the next time they end up at the doctor 3 months later. Well, what happened in those 3 months leading up to that return visit? Were you riding a motorcycle and had a wreck? Were you snow skiing and twisted your knee? You may have injured it in the car wreck several months before, but now have you re-injured it or aggravated it by some other activity?
It's important to know how your treatment will affect the outcome of your case.
Let's review what we've learned in this presentation. There are 5 secrets insurance companies don't want you to know. Secret 1. The insurance adjuster is trained to control the direction of your claim in order to provide maximum benefits for the insurance company and minimum benefits to you. Secret 2. Any statement given by you will very likely be used against you. Secret 3. A prior injury or medical condition will very likely be used against you. Secret 4. A quick settlement is not always the best settlement. Secret 5. The medical treatment for your injury is closely scrutinized by the insurance companies.
John, Jeff, this has been very informative and helpful. Thank you for sharing this. As we close, tell us what you are hoping to achieve by providing these secrets.
If you're watching this video, more than likely you're getting ready to make some dramatic choices that could affect you and your family for the rest of your life. Our slogan is protecting your family's future, and that is truly what we intend to do. Jeff and I want you to give us a call. We want to have a direct one-on-one relationship with you because many of the examples that we've given are hypotheticals and every fact pattern is different. And in order for us to properly evaluate your claim and help you navigate through these treacherous times and to level the playing field, we need to know your facts, and we welcome and look forward to receiving your call.
You know, you can go to any phone directory and find a lawyer who's giving a free consultation. John and I do the same thing. We thought it would be very helpful to just put something of value so that someone would be able to, in the comfort of their own home, make an informed decision.
And what we also want to show is that we're Middle Tennessee guys, and we love our community, and we have a passion for what we do, and we want relationships with other people who we can help because we truly love helping people. Everything else falls in line after that.
Griffith & Roberts offers its clients the kind of respect, accessibility, and experience that they deserve. If you've been injured in an accident or on the job, don't wait any longer. Call Griffith & Roberts today for a free consultation. Griffith & Roberts, attorneys at law, protecting your family's future.